Hey, we know what you're thinking. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? But don't worry, you spoke, we listened, and now we're going to take another crack at this. The SCP Foundation harbors some of the most terrifying creatures and entities humanity has ever known. From plague doctors that can kill with a touch, to murderous old men who can walk through walls, to cataclysmic multi-dimensional nightmare gods. If an average civilian came into contact with one of the Foundation's more aggressive entities, they're probably doomed. So let's even the odds. You're a member of one of the Foundation's mobile task forces, the highly trained special ops groups employed by the Foundation to retrieve or subdue dangerous anomalies. You have almost unlimited resources, advanced knowledge of your enemies, and technology not available to standard militaries. If anyone can get these beasts under control, it's you. And today you have your job cut out for you. There's been a deadly containment breach, and 3 of the Foundation's more well-known abominations are on the loose: SCP-173, the deadly living statue, SCP-096, the mass-murdering Shy Guy, and SCP-682, an immortal, highly intelligent lizard with a serious attitude problem. Seeing as you're not working for Site-13's Director Emerson or the Global Occult Coalition, the objective isn't to kill these monsters, and let's be honest, you probably couldn't if you tried. If we can get this terrible trio back into containment with minimal casualties, and without getting killed or eaten in the process, we can call this a win. Let's see what these entities are made of and how we might be able to get them back into containment by any means necessary. First up, SCP-173, also known as the Sculpture, the Killer Statue, and by some, the Peanut. This is one you'll want to keep an eye on. Seriously, if you take your eyes off this creature for so much as a second, even to blink, it'll zoom at you with incredible speed and snap your neck like an Olive Garden breadstick. Despite being one of the more well-known monsters from the SCP Foundation catalog, the creature commands an impressive sense of mystery. According to tests, the creature's body is made entirely of concrete, rebar, and the Krylon brand spray paint that gives its distinctive markings. It appears to have no nervous or vascular systems, rendering dangerous nerve agents useless against it, and we still don't know what gives this creature its anomalous properties. The creature does somehow emit blood and waste products in spite of this, but you'll learn that things often don't make sense when you're dealing with anomalies. The Foundation, however, has worked out a means for keeping this creature contained relatively safely. Personnel are even able to enter the cell to clean, provided they go in there 3 at a time to maintain a constant visual on the creature. But in the event of a containment breach, all bets are off. When those alarm bells are ringing, and you're hearing the gruesome telltale crunches of necks snapping all around you, it's easy for panic to set in. This creature has incredible speed, seemingly unlimited aggression, and more physical strength than any human being. So how do you get it back into containment? Perhaps you can gang up on the beast with 2 other members of your mobile task force and take blink shifts to make sure it doesn't get loose and tear you a new one. You could, but that's an extremely risky option. You may be highly disciplined soldiers, but in a high-pressure situation, everyone makes mistakes, and making a mistake around SCP-173 can cost you and your entire team the integrity of your spines. So what's a completely safe method of maintaining constant visual contact with the sculpture while you're returning it to its containment cell? Thankfully, the answer is right under your nose, in Site-19, where the sculpture has been kept since 1993. Meet SCP-131, also known as the iPods. These are 2 friendly, safe-class anomalies that appear to be small biomechanical creatures with a single, perpetually unblinking eye at the center of their bodies. They're harmless and benevolent beings who have a natural tendency toward helping and protecting humans, and in this instance, they're the key to getting 173 back under control. If you recruit the help of these friendly little creatures, they'll keep an eye on SCP-173, keeping it frozen in its own body as you lift it up and haul it to the containment. And hey, presto, that's 1 SCP back under lock and key, 2 to go. But don't get too comfortable, because now you're going toe-to-toe with SCP-096, aka The Shy Guy. While this creature is a Euclid class just like 173, when it's out of containment, it's an order of magnitude more dangerous than its concrete predecessor. While this huge, gangling white creature might be docile when not in its rage state, if someone so much as glimpses the creature's face, even a single pixel of a photo, though not artistic depictions, this thing becomes an unstoppable destruction machine. It'll turn tanks and military helicopters into lumps of inert metal. It'll run through solid walls like they're wet tissue paper. Think you can take this creature down along with 50 caliber sniper bullets and anti-tank missiles, we regret to inform you that it can take that licking and keep on ticking. Even with the majority of its body mass destroyed, the creature keeps going, and its skeletal structure appears to be totally indestructible. It can travel at frightening speeds with unlimited stamina and has killed 100% of human targets that have seen its face. Its ferocity is so great that it doesn't leave a single trace of any of its victims. Seeing as it was discovered butt naked in sub-zero temperatures and appears just as effective in combat deep underwater as it does on land, there's really no battleground where you have the advantage. If the reason this monster breached containment is that you saw its face, well, other than praying, you might be out of luck. But if the creature breached containment because some other poor sucker saw its face, then at least you're in there with a fighting chance of getting the creature back into containment. First, you should never attempt to stop the creature while it's still in hot pursuit of whoever saw its face. You simply will not stop it in that state, and nothing really has. You must approach the creature while it's in its docile post-kill state, and take extreme caution to avoid seeing its face in the process. The Foundation has explored methods of augmenting vision in order to block out the face in the past, such as Dr. Dan's scramble technology, but this has often resulted in grim and deadly failure that left good task force members dead. Your objective will be to quite literally bag the creature by pulling a bag over its head. The creature will not attempt to remove the bag, at least for a while, as it displays no real intelligence outside of its single-minded pursuit of prey. Once it's bagged, the monster can be easily captured and taken back to containment, where it will endlessly pace around its cell under constant audio-only surveillance from Foundation personnel. But here's the question: how do you get so close to the thing without looking at it? Thankfully, you have valuable knowledge gleaned from a certain classic party game, Pin the Tail on the Donkey. The creature will only go into attack mode if its face is seen or if you attack it first. So after locating the creature, your best course of action is to blindfold yourself and approach with the bag. It's a daunting task, but if you can establish enough physical contact to estimate the position of the head, then bag it, you've just saved a lot of lives, and have ultimate bragging rights that you beat a classic party game on hard mode. SCP-096 is now safely on the way back to the Foundation, where Dr. Dan can continue his tireless research into its neutralization. 2 down, 1 to go, and boy, have we saved the hardest for last. Meet SCP-682, also known as the Hard-to-Kill Reptile. And believe us when we say this thing has earned that nickname. This creature has faced off against SCP-173 multiple times and survived every encounter. It also engaged in a brutal 27-hour battle with SCP-096 in the past, and not only survived but reduced the Shy Guy to a gibbering, incoherent mess. Unlike its 2 predecessors, 682 is not a mindless monster, but is actually an extremely intelligent predator capable of advanced forethought and even setting deadly traps, such as creating a helium shell around its body to protect from attack, and shattering the shell into deadly shards to shred Foundation personnel when they approached. There's even some merit to the theory that SCP-682 is one of the 7 children of the legendary and terrifying Scarlet King, thought by the Foundation to be the greatest living threat to the multiverse. SCP-682 may not be the deadliest SCP out there, considering that there are some who are more capable of triggering the apocalypse, but it's rightly one of the most feared. The monster's reputation comes from 3 main factors: durability, adaptability, and malice, and you'll need to understand all 3 of these if you want any hope of getting the hard-to-kill reptile back into containment. Durability. The Foundation have tried every conceivable method of killing this thing, from total incineration to high-powered acid to cross-testing with other deadly anomalies, and the only time 682 has been successfully killed is in the alternate universe contained within SCP-2935. However, no battle is worth risking the involvement of SCP-2935, as it could result in the spontaneous destruction of all life in our dimension. Next, adaptability. 682 has shown that it's capable of learning, adapting to, and weaponizing anything used against it. Even the calming, joy-inducing effects of SCP-999 were transformed into a crippling laughter blast that allowed 682 to break containment. And finally, malice. 682 despises all life of any kind and has the stated intention of killing anything and everything it can. While it may be intelligent, there's no reasoning with this creature. It wants you and your team dead, and it will do anything to make that happen. Seeing as there's no hope of killing this thing, how can you potentially incapacitate it and get it back into its acid-filled containment chamber before it recovers? Well, for this, we need to turn back to the classic adage, there's safety in numbers. According to SCP-682's official documentation, in case of containment breach, ADAGE, SCP-682 is to be tracked and recaptured by all available mobile task forces, and no teams with fewer than 7 members are cleared to engage it. In other words, your best bet is calling in all the heavily armed reinforcements you can and taking on the creature with a mix of advanced military tactics and conventional arms firing. While the classic monster movie temptation of busting out the nukes and napalm may be alluring, the risk of the creature adapting to those attacks and introducing them into his own arsenal is too great. There are some SCPs who have been known to have a pacifying effect on 682 and may therefore be useful in your recapture mission. Perhaps the best example is SCP-053, a small child who causes murderous tendencies in those who spend more than 10 minutes in her presence. While bringing her along definitely puts a time limit on the mission, 53 has an unparalleled ability to make 682 become docile without giving it any new powers in the process. She may be able to prevent 682 from causing further damage while your team mobilizes around the creature. With her help, it may be possible for you and your small army of mobile task force members to get SCP-682 tagged, bagged, and hauled back to the base for containment. So there you have it, the tried and true methods for getting these deadly creatures and entities back under Foundation control. If you want to find out more about the SCP Foundation and the entities they spend day and night protecting you from, why not subscribe to our new channel, SCP Explained, Story and Animation, and check out our other video, SCP-3008, Trapped in IKEA.